get off of it. So in this episode, I got dog food. And I'm gonna simulate this as being dog food and everything else. So what I'm sitting there trying to tell you, Simba, can you get out of my face? So I'm gonna simulate this as being dog food. So how to transition your puppies over to raw food? First of all, they gotta start chewing. So a lot of vets know that if your dog don't chew and they just swallow the bone, or especially a small bone, it's gonna get choked and everything else because it's not used to chewing. So what you want to do is make it like a ground meat or a meatloaf and everything else with the eggs, whole eggs and stuff in it, and have the dog actually start chewing. Once the dog starts chewing, then I will sit there and give it chicken legs. Chicken legs is gonna help the dog to actually start chewing because it's gonna take 2 or 3 bites to sit there and break down the chicken bone. Pull the skin off if you don't want the dog to have gassy, smelly farts, because that's what's gonna happen if he eats the whole skin and everything else. Me, it don't bother me. I mean, I've been doing this for the last 10 years and it is what it is. But like I sat there and said, when they eat this stuff right here, all they do is swallow it. So for everybody out there that's talking about train your dog with treats and train your dog with this, that, and the next, they are absolutely crazy, because you don't train your dog with treats because dogs don't get treats. They get a meal. Whatever they catch, they eat. That's it. Nothing extra. So all this extra stuff that you're doing is just a waste of time, because at the end of the day, it doesn't work. So like I said, this is the dog food that most people sit there and feed their dog and everything else. They take it, they scoop it out, they throw it in the dish. Maybe they add water, maybe they don't. So the dog eats it. The acid and everything else in the dog's stomach is not used to processed food. So basically it's just gonna sit there. Just like when they use the bathroom in your yard, it just sits there and it doesn't go nowhere. When they use the bathroom in the yard, it just dissipates into the ground. It rains, it breaks down, it turns white, it goes back into the ground. That's the difference between raw food and processed food. But like we're going back to the dog food and everything else. So when they sit there and eat this and they run out there, their stomach turns over and everything else, that's where all the issues and everything else come from, because there's no solidness in their body. That's the whole thing. There's no solid food. It's just a bunch of stuff that's floating around in the dog's stomach, and then all of a sudden the dog's running, and this is what happens. So in order for this right here not to happen, your dog needs to eat and start chewing. So like I sat there and said, we go from the ground meat, meatloaf, eggs, oatmeal, everything that you got inside it, and then you're gonna sit there and go to the chicken legs. And once again, Oliver is the female, and Mona, and these are the 2 troublemakers of the whole group. They have never had these before, and I'm not gonna give it to them because, like I said, they're not my puppies, and I don't want to sit there and introduce them to anything else. But my dogs will eat it because they're rice cakes. I eat rice cakes. I mean, you won't eat your dog food, but I will eat my dog food. Here, you want one? Nope. See, greedy. And still no food aggression. I told you, I train different. Oh man, it's hot as crap out here. No food aggression, puppies and the big dogs. This is what I'm talking about training. You ain't gonna never see this in nobody's video because the dogs in cages. One for me. Dog food. If you don't eat it, your dog shouldn't eat it.